Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers, you guys. Now, that intro was for one of my subscribers, like I said, as promised. That's for you, buddy. Now, as we move on into 2022, obviously we're starting to notice that interest rates are skyrocketing, essentially making it to where many home buyers can no longer afford to buy a house. So what I want to look at today is to continue the trend of what we're analyzing, which is rates, sales, price, and inventory. So right now we're at a 7-month low with buyer demand. We are at a 2-year high when it comes to price reduction and a 2-year low when it comes to home tours. So already we're seeing signs that the interest rates being skyrocketing like they are is already affecting sales and is already affecting price. And with the traditional inventory surge that we have these months, we're also getting a slight inventory surge. So it's going to be very interesting to keep watching that pattern. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to jump into a Redfin article titled Housing Market Update: Shrinking Pool of Buyers Snatch Up Homes at Record Pace. So here's the thing, you guys. What we're going to notice is the cool down and the crash is going to hit different metros at different severities during different times. So what I'm seeing right now is, even though all of this cooling is taking place, it hasn't hit every metro, but even though the cooling is taking place in my local market, the good houses or the great houses are always gone and being bidded on aggressively. So I'm not seeing really a trend of that slowing down, but I am definitely seeing a trend in my local market to where demand is drying up and inventory is increasing. But again, when there's a very, very nice house that hits the market, it's still very toxic for those nice houses, but it's still refreshing, right? These are all trends that we're noticing that we need to continue so that we can purchase homes at reasonable prices. I think that's really all we're trying to do, is the people that are sitting on the sidelines, is we don't want to go broke buying an overpriced house, and and personally, I don't want to put myself at risk or my family at risk financially by being trapped in a house. Even though I feel like I'm safe and I can hold on to the real estate 10, 15, 20 years, I still don't want to be put in that situation. Now, remember, you guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an opinion sharer YouTuber, even though my main job is an instructor provider for the state of Texas, providing education, but also a loan officer in Texas and a realtor in Houston. So I love real estate. And if you guys can, please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and as always, comment, share your insights, share your intel. Let's get started on the article right now. Demand for homes is falling, but homes are still selling fast as the buyers who remain rush to beat rapidly rising mortgage rates. The typical home for sale found a buyer in just 15 days, the fastest pace on record during the 4-week period ending May 8th. Meanwhile, pending sales fell 6%, the largest year-over-year decline since June 2020, with the initial pandemic shock to the housing market was just wearing off. Many of the buyers who haven't yet been priced out of by skyrocketing housing costs have been rushing to snag homes before they become even more expensive. The typical home buyer's monthly mortgage payment is now $2,427, a record high, and up 44% from $1,685 just a year earlier. Rising mortgage rates have taken a notable bite out of demand, but still, homebuyers who remain in the market are facing stiff competition, especially for the most desirable homes. Given the lack of homes for sale, it would take a much larger drop in demand for buyers to really feel like the market has truly turned in their favor. Okay, so the drop in sales of 6% is essentially a 2-year record, right? So since June 2022, we haven't had that type of drop in sales. Now remember, interest rates, what's after interest rates? Sales, right? Massive drop in sales at 6%. So do you see how it's leading each other, right? So after sales, then we need to start seeing a lot more price drops. After a lot more price drops, what do? We get more inventory. Now, all of those little stages are firing, right? But only the first stage right now is firing at all cylinders, which is the interest rate surge. But this is very, very interesting to note those types of things. And also a 44% increase in mortgage payment. That's sad. That's so sad. Like, why did the Federal Reserve wait so long to take these measures, right? Why did they wait so long? I really feel like it's political. I feel like it's political, and that whole transition from president to president, and the stimulus and COVID, I just can't explain it. I feel like it's political because they should have known to take these steps much sooner, so not so many people got hurt. Let's continue reading the article. The share of homes for sale with price drops shot up to a 7-month high of 16% during the 4-week period, as early stage home buying demand, as measured by Redfin's Home Buyer Demand Index, is the latest week fell 7%, the largest annual decline since April 2020. So do you guys see that? 16% of homes dropping listing price, and second largest decline in demand since April 2022. So it's April 2020. Pretty astonishing what's happening, and so quickly. Let's continue. We are seeing some price drops in recent weeks, and home buyers are starting to find some relief from competition. People who have been looking for a long time and were constantly getting beat out by other buyers are starting to get their offers accepted. They may be settling for homes that are not in an ideal location or need some work, but they are happy because a few months ago, even those seemed impossible to win. However, desirable homes in prime locations are still selling fast and for a premium, with no apparent slowdown so far. So like I said, you guys, those really, really nice houses, even in a normal housing market, are going to go fast, but we're still seeing, aggressive, toxic bidding when it comes to the most favorable of houses. But what do you guys think, right? So now stage 3, prices. 16% of listings have actually reduced their prices to you. So do you guys see how everything is leading everything? Interest rates, sales, price, and inventory. So 16% of listings dropped, right? And a biggest year over year decline in demand since April 2020. Y'all see what's happening here? Demand is being destroyed because of unaffordability, right? The surge of interest rates, no more affordability. When people can't buy houses, naturally the inventory is going to go up. But it's interesting to notate the formula and watch each stage. Take a look at the next part of the article right now. All right, so let me just reference some leading indicators of home buying activity that the article is referencing. And these indicators are going to keep changing. So I really think that we should all keep our eyes on this. Now, first things first, online searches. So online searches are down 6% from a year earlier. Obviously, less people are looking for houses during a time where the majority of people purchase houses. So traditionally springtime and this time, real estate does better, not worse. Now let's go to the next bullet point. The seasonally adjusted Redfin Home Buyer Demand Index was down 7% year over year. It dropped 19% in the past 4 weeks, compared with an 11% decrease during the same period a year earlier. 19% dropped. Y'all see demand taking a massive beating here. Touring activity from the first week of January through May 8th was 30% behind the same period in 2021. 30%. You see how swiftly these actions are working? Mortgage applications were down 8% from a year earlier. Do y'all see how important it is to keep an eye on those things? So we're not unaccurately projecting doom and gloom, right? We're talking about what's probably going to happen. So if you're a responsible human being, you will prepare for it just the best of your ability, right? There's no magic in preparation. It's hard work, it's dedication, and it's a little bit of luck, quite frankly. Now, I'm going to bring up this graph right now just to show you exactly how badly the skyrocketing interest rates really affected the affordability, topped with overpriced houses. Take a look at this graph. So if you see here, you can kind of understand why the transition is happening so quickly, and it really blindsided a lot of people. But look at this massive surge in mortgage payment. Now, this goes back to 2015, so it's about an 8-year graph, 8-year graph, but it's traditionally pretty balanced. Now, you see this surge here? I'm assuming this surge right here is from overwhelming equity growth, right? So there's a surge of equity growth more than likely. And then right here is a massive surge specifically from the interest rates. And that's why you guys are starting to see everything happen so quickly. And, it's really astonishing how people are starting to change their opinions and narratives that once couldn't even fathom the situation we're in. I guess I'm in a special situation since I've already lost $300,000 in 2008 on my real estate. So I already know what can happen, right? But most importantly, I know how awful foreclosure is and how much that can really hurt families like it hurt mine. Let's look at one more graph right now. Now take a look at this. This is a 4-week rolling average share of homes for sale with price drops. Now, usually this time of year, as you can see, it goes down. So the gray line is 2020, blue line's 2021, but either it stays pretty balanced because this is a busy time in real estate, or it drops. But as you can see, instead of dropping, it's actually increasing. So the amount of homes that are doing price drops is actually kind of skyrocketing. Do you see that, guys? That's a skyrocketing trend. So if this trend continues, we're going to see price drops a lot faster than a lot of other people thought. And then the next thing is we're going to start seeing inventory coming back on the market and firing on all cylinders, right? So let's keep an eye on that. Now, guys, I want to conclude this video with just some general conclusions that I developed after reading this. Now, essentially, here's what it is. I still think for the best of the best houses, you're going to have a massive issue. It's going to still be very, very toxic. It's still going to be unhealthy. But the trends are already showing us that this cool down is already getting out of control, right? And leading into a crash. And that's what I'm saying. Q4 of this year, there's going to be a crash type negative equity going on in enough metro areas to where the narrative and the mainstream media is going to start reporting on the actual crash happening real time. I believe the inventory surge and is going to come and blossom into Q3 of this year, and that's when also demand is going to fizzle out. So I think Q3 is going to be so much writing on the wall, you can't miss it. But as always, you guys, I really appreciate you following along with me on this journey. I appreciate you watching my videos. Now, if you are out there investing in real estate, I do wish you luck, and I hope you win.